Hi Haley, this is Sarah Rummins. Thank you for the response on my video. I'm sorry for the delay. We're actually traveling cross country. I'm in my mother-in-law's house in Iowa. So it's been a little bit of a crazy week. One note that you did make in response to my video that I found very interesting as I've done more research on my outline is that compromise could be the best choice based off of the different stakeholders. And what I am finding is that there are various NGOs and other working groups that are actually rising from concerned citizens that are then going to their state and federal entities asking for more resources to restore the wolf introduction, such as the Wolf Working Group and other things like that. And I'm seeing that more compromise can be made that way rather than just letting it continue between the parks and the federal and the consumers that are more concerned about their rural agriculture than reestablishing the species. So there's a lot of interesting compromise already going on. How much of that is permanent, I'm not sure. So that's what I'm doing research in currently. In regards to your project, I found it really interesting that you went in that angle while I went in different species. So it's interesting to see how those work together. I do agree that overcrowding gets overwhelming very fast. We have a kindergartner, and it stresses us out to go to most state parks with him because of the amount of people and then the lack of resources that are already spread so thin. So one thing that I was thinking about when you were talking about the month that encouraged people to get out to the national parks, we tried going. And we ended up at several smaller parks that weren't necessarily as busy. We were going to go out to Yellowstone. We were thinking about going out to Yosemite, and because of the sheer overwhelming factor, we didn't go. And I think that is a huge detriment to the parks for their long-term planning process, for their budgets, for their actual preservation and conservation because of a lack of funds. And I was wondering in your research if you had come across anything that would suggest spreading out that program, doing it more often or doing it for longer amounts of times, even seasonally doing a push for park recognition, if that would be easier and dwindle down on the overcrowding issue while still letting people enjoy it and have recreation and maybe even enjoy it more because of how less busy it would be, while still providing the parks with enough funds to implement new things that they wanted to make recreation more enjoyable, to put new signage up, which tends to be desperately needed, but to also fund their preservation issues. So it would be interesting to see if you came up with anything in regards to that, and I would certainly be interested to reading that. Thank you. Bye.